We're on day 6 of the Easter Story Challenge, and we are thinking now about the events that happened immediately after Jesus was crucified on the Friday evening and also on the Saturday. People started taking sides. We see that very much in the 2 trips that took place to Pontius Pilate. First, a trip made by Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy man who owned the grave in which Jesus was placed. He went on the Friday afternoon and Jesus was placed in his tomb. But then the next day, the chief priests remembered what Jesus had said. The disciples seem to have quite forgotten what Jesus said about rising from the dead, but the chief priests hadn't. So they took precautions. They went to Pilate and they asked for permission to guard the tomb. Permission was granted, and they made the tomb as secure as they knew how. But isn't it interesting that in the light of the cross, sides were starting to form? There were those who were accepting what had happened, and in the case of Joseph of Arimathea, a very brave move to go and identify himself before the governor with this crucified man Jesus. Suddenly it was as though something in him was strengthened in his faith. He hadn't even seen the resurrection yet, but strength was growing for Jesus. But then Jesus' opponents, likewise, they couldn't let it rest, and their opposition also was being strengthened. We find that so often with Jesus. The sides fall, for, against. And the trajectory that we start on, the direction in which we are headed, sometimes from a very early reaction to Jesus, sometimes gets stronger and stronger and stronger as the years go by. Of course it can be undone. You may have rejected Jesus for years, or you may have ignored him. It's not too late for you to come back to him and join the other side. Because what we can't miss in today's reading is that there are sides to be taken. Which side are you going to be on? With Jesus and Joseph of Arimathea and those women who helped to bury the body, or those who sought to squash him and get rid of him? Because ultimately, actually, those are really the only 2 options. Which side are you on?